Hey everybody, it's Brian, and possibly from here on we're going to call myself Chef Brian just because it sounds cute. And I wanted to show you all a technique that I learned on how to use Big Red, my Power Air Fryer Pro, to cook an amazing pot roast. So what I did is I went out and bought the biggest bad boy son of a biscuit I could find. I've got my pan. I know some of you are thinking, why are you using a pan if you're going to be using the air fryer? But that's because this stuff really likes to be seared first in a hot pan, so you get that sealed in taste that the air fryer will then magnify to the nth degree. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what my technique is. The pot here, the pan is already hot. I'm going to put in some oil, and notice I'm using avocado oil. I started using that bad boy, that stuff, about 2 years ago, and the great thing about it is that it does everything regular cooking oil does, but it doesn't leave that kind of gnarly aftertaste that I've found. So it's a good solution. It's supposed to be healthier. I believe what I read. That could make me the biggest idiot in the room, but either way, I'm going to put these guys in here now. Look at that sizzle. I'm going to put these bad boys in here. It's really hard to do with just one hand. I'm going to put them in. I'm going to sear the meat. Listen to that sound. Whew. Love that. I'm going to sear the meat for a good couple minutes. I'm going to get that sear on both sides. And the important thing also is to get the sear on the edges so it actually seals in that meat. So turn that bad boy up to high. Fan's going now. Hopefully you can still hear my voice, but look at that meat start to go. You don't really have to cook it for very long. You just want that sear to be on all the sides and once again on the edges too. Look at that. These are amazing pieces of beef. You want that sear to be good. You want it to lock in that flavor that then the air fryer, man, I swear to God, I don't know how the air fryer does it, but it actually just takes all that flavor and just absorbs it even further within the deepest recesses of each one of these cuts of beef. So again, we're going to work on that sear. We're going to do it on all sides once again. And that includes these edges. So I'm not going to make you sit through this entire thing, but just know that on average you spend about 1.5 to 2 minutes on each side. And then even though I saw once it said up to 3 minutes on each of the edges, that didn't make sense to me. So I'm doing about an even 2 minutes on every single side. Think all sides of the coin. And then we're going to go ahead and transport these bad boys onto the already sprayed with avocado spray oil on these two trays, and then stick them into Big Red. Stay tuned. All right, lovers of all things moo, I just wanted to show you the finished result here from the standpoint of the sear job. I forgot to mention what I covered these bad boys in. I used a mixture of 30% soy sauce and 70% Worcestershire, whatever the hell it's called, and a pretty healthy dose of garlic powder, and I covered both sides, but the primary side that was up facing during the 2 hours in the refrigerator, I put these slices across the top. Now, some professional barbecue people and chefs would lose their GD mind if they know about this or see it, but I don't care. I can run faster than them if necessary. But the reason I do it is that these chunks of meat, they're thirsty. You do those little slices and they get little tiny reservoirs of the sauce, and they just suck it right in. And honestly, it helps to make a much more flavorful meat. And the searing process I did on the pan still locks in that flavor that, once again, the air fryer just completely just brings all throughout the meat. So these guys are ready. They're going to go into Big Red over here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I know some of you are saying, well, geez, it's got 2 layers. What's the whole point of that? And so many trays and everything. Well, it just depends on what you're making. When I have dehydrated fruits, it's been great to have the multiple layers. At the same time, what happens in here is it got 2 great layers. It doesn't matter if they're stacked from the standpoint of, one being able to breathe, because the air fryer circles that heat throughout the entire thing. Now, just because I'm a control freak, I do actually, midway through any of these timed cycles, I do flip trays. Or I should say switch the locations of the trays. The top part will go on the bottom, the one in the middle will go up top, just because I want to make sure things get done correctly. But man, they sure do. So we're looking at 350 degrees for 90 minutes. This particular version goes up to 60, so I can do the simple math after the fact. But we're gonna go ahead and get this guy started, and we'll see you again for a check on the meat in 60 minutes. All right, everybody, Big Red has done its thing. I'm gonna reach in here and grab out the chuck, the pot roast, and deposit it onto this tray in order to do a cut. Some of you also may notice my famous smoked paprika potatoes with bacon and garlic and butter and cheese. Now this will be real hard to do with just one hand. Let me see if I can get a cut here to show you guys the results. And I cannot. Son, come here for a minute. Would you do me a favor? I want you to hold the camera just like that. Try not to get your fingers in the way. Okay, you're gonna hold that for everybody. And I am going to give a proper cut and show people what this is all about. And it's not easy to do over the top of you. So I'm gonna give you a quick look here on the inside. That is cooked a little bit more than I wanted. It's actually just a skosh below well done. Thank you for the assist, Calvin. But the meat was so tender and the flavor is completely locked in. This was actually only after 60 minutes. I did do a temperature test. The meat on the inside is just over 180 degrees. Let it rest for about 5 minutes. But both of these pieces are ready to go with the amazing potatoes and the rest of the meal, which is a nice tossed green salad. So, hope you all enjoyed the videos. Try this for yourself if you've yet to consider purchasing an air fryer. I recommend it. There are many versions available, those with the pull-out basin unit or ones like this that have the open display, the multiple trays. Mine comes with 4 trays, as well as a tumbler and a rotisserie set. I highly recommend it. It's kind of changed our eating habits in the house. We've barely touched the microwave in months. Pretty proud of that. So take care of everybody. Happy Moo.